Hello and welcome to yet another special presentation brought to you by St. Lucia Times. I am Quinn Seshis, currently on a media exchange visit in China, documenting my time here and what St. Lucia and the wider Caribbean can learn from Beijing. This week I will be highlighting some of what was covered during the recently concluded China CELAC Forum and note what China is planning for the wider Caribbean region. Our week began earlier than usual on Sunday with a press conference where Chinese Assistant Foreign Minister Hong Li indicated that China intends to continue its relational assistance to the region, particularly in the form of cultural exchanges and think tanks.
Cooperation mechanisms like Ministerial Meeting of China-Caribbean Economic Cooperation Forum and China-Caribbean Development Center. The two sides have pulled cooperation consensus. China is also having more think tanks and universities that have established research center of the Caribbean region, which will provide the intellectual support for deepening bilateral relations. China always pursues the greater good and shared benefits when developing relations with Caribbean countries and attach importance to help with regional countries' development and promote shared development between the two sides.
China is committed to investing in long-term relational infrastructure, which includes the hearts and minds of future Caribbean leaders and thinkers. For the Caribbean, this is a reminder to remain strategic and benefit from engagement while protecting sovereignty, local culture, and diverse international partnerships. On Monday, Caribbean dignitaries arrived and met with Chinese state officials to discuss ways the Caribbean can benefit from mutual collaboration. Among the countries of interest was Guyana. China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi met with Guyana's Foreign Minister Yu Todd in Beijing to deepen CELAC-initiated collaboration. They agreed to advance the Belt and Road Cooperation, explore projects in energy, minerals, and digital and green economy, and deepen ties in healthcare, education, and culture, while encouraging Chinese firms to invest in Guyana's industrial upgrades. Guyana is quickly becoming a major player in the global economy. It will be interesting to see whether the country can properly utilize its newfound oil wealth and align with the right partners to pursue a shared vision. Guyana's growing relationship with China across energy, infrastructure, the digital economy, and education could position it as a model partner or pilot country for other Caribbean nations, a hub for Chinese investment and diplomacy in the Caribbean, a key node for China's Belt and Road Initiative in the Americas, and so much more. We shall see what this will mean for the broader region. Tuesday was definitely a day to remember. An official opening ceremony for the CELAC Forum was hosted, with dignitaries from across the world seated to hear China's intention for the Caribbean region. Among the key speakers at this event was President Xi Jinping himself. The Chinese leader revealed a series of key innovations intended for the region. One of the key initiatives, the Project of Peace, aims to bolster security, support peace declarations, enhance anti-corruption efforts, improve disaster response, and strengthen law enforcement capacity.
China will work with LAC countries to implement the Global Security Initiative. China supports the proclamation of Latin America and the Caribbean as a zone of peace and the declaration of the member states of the Agency for the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons in Latin America and the Caribbean. The two sides should cooperate more closely in disaster governance, cybersecurity, counterterrorism, anti-corruption, narcotics control, and combating transnational organized crime, so as to safeguard security and stability in the region.
Additionally, the project of development is designed to align development strategies, expand trade investment, and advance cooperation in infrastructure and technology. The Chinese leader said that his government is ready to work with the Caribbean and Latin America to jointly implement the Global Development Initiative and expand collaboration in emerging fields such as clean energy, 5G communications, and artificial intelligence. Another initiative, the Project of People-to-People Ties, seeks to deepen cultural and educational exchanges through tourism, scholarships, vocational training, and language learning programs.
Next 3 years, China will provide CELAC member states with 3,500 government scholarships, 10,000 training opportunities in China, 500 international Chinese language teachers scholarships, 300 training opportunities for poverty reduction professionals, and 1,000 funded placements through the Chinese Bridge program. We will initiate 300 small and beautiful livelihood projects, actively promote vocational education cooperation programs such as Luban Workshop, and support CELAC member states in developing Chinese language education.
In essence, this is not just diplomacy, it's design. China is methodically shaping the future of its relationships with the region, and it's up to the Caribbean stakeholders to ensure that those relationships serve mutual, transparent, and sustainable goals. How do you think the region will be impacted by this? On Friday, our group participated in a session on Chinese architecture, exploring the historical evolution, symbolic meanings, and structural principles that define traditional Chinese buildings, from imperial palaces and temples to modern urban designs. The class highlighted how architecture in China reflects cultural values like harmony, hierarchy, and balance, and often highlights a deeper principle and meaning often seen in today's China cityscapes. That concludes this week's episode. Reporting for St. Lucia Times from Beijing, I am Quincy Gis.